And we're back, guys. Welcome to Tennis in a Minute. I'm your host, Good Energy. Thanks for everyone that has come over from the old channel. This is the new channel. Show love, subscribe, like the video, drop a heart. And this video is brought to you via the Doctrine of Fair Use, the Fair Dealings Act. We are covered under Section 107 of Copyright Law News Reporting. Coco Gauff robbed by another chair umpire, guys. That's right. This was her comments during the heated exchange. We're going to get into that momentarily. This isn't fair. You called it out before I hit the ball. You have to be 100% sure. It always happens to me on this court. I always have to advocate for myself. This is the fourth, fifth time this year. This isn't fair. I feel like I'm getting cheated on constantly in this game. Coco, from Good Energy to you, this is like the 20th time. It's unacceptable, and we are with you. By the way, whoever made this image to the right, highly disrespectful. Do better, guys. Coco Gauff distraught during umpire. That's right, guys. Exchange. I constantly feel that I have to argue, and then you guys apologize afterwards saying I'm sorry. But what does that do for me in the match? Okay, it's not intentional, but it happens to me. It happened to Serena. You guys are not fair to me, and I hope one day the game becomes fair, but it's not. This is very sad, and it happened again, guys. Coco was up early in the first set, 5-2. She had a set point, dominating Donna Vekic, the hard-hitting backhand, the very powerful Donna Vekic. But Coco took her foot off the gas pedal. And you do not want to leave these matches in the hands of the umpire. We've seen it constantly in the big matches. No other star on tour, the most popular player on the tennis scene by far, the most famous, recognized tennis female athlete in the world, the future of tennis. I've been saying this for many years. Everything I say comes true. You guys understand that. You realize everything I say comes true. Coco is the most famous tennis player in the world. Everyone loves Coco. Everyone knows Coco, except for the chair umpires, ladies and gentlemen. That was a Jordan fist bump as Donna Vekic would come back down 5-2, and she would win 12 of the next 15 service games, and she would advance, keeping her gold medal chances alive here. Coco, the best she can do now is win a bronze, ladies and gentlemen, because she was robbed by the chair umpire. This is how it happened. Facing break point, it should have been deuced. Donna Vekic, the ball's out. It's clearly out. You can see it's out. This happened to Francis Tiafoe, and he literally said, look, I'm walking off of the court. I felt Coco should have walked off the court as well because she didn't play after this. She literally lost all of her confidence having to argue and fight. It takes so much energy to play a tennis match. The last thing you want to be doing is giving that energy having to argue with the chair umpire. But listen, guys, I say it time and time again, as long as this world is living a lie, it's the African American people, the black people, they are going to continue to face discrimination. And look, there's a lot of people that face discrimination. All races, colors, and creeds face discrimination. But to constantly see Coco have to fight for calls, there's no other star athlete that's having to fight for these calls in the most critical situations of the match. And if the shoe was on the other foot, well, it happened this match. Donna Vekic, just literally a couple service games later, the same exact call, she was awarded the point. And it's sad, right? Coco should have been awarded this point. The same call happened to Donna moments later, and she was awarded the point. So I feel that it's pretty darn sad. Now, this heated exchange here, again, I read Coco's words there, and I apologize. I'm speaking a little bit too fast. I'm a little anxious. I'm a little excited here. There's a lot going on in Paris. And the reality here is, this was sad. She said, look, the game has not been fair to her. She feels every time she has to advocate for herself. It happened to Serena. It's happening to her. And let's talk about Serena for a bit. Serena, I remember a time in France where they were just downright booing Serena. Now, they don't boo Coco. They love Coco. But Serena used to get booed bad here. And the Indian Wells, I felt that. And who said this? I don't remember who said this. I don't know if it was Osaka or if it was Sloane Stevens. Someone said it. I don't remember. If you remember, comment below. They said Serena, literally, they didn't want to hear Serena advocate for African American women. So she had to make it a global fight. She had to make it a fight about women, which I felt was a smart angle, right? Just helping to do what she did in terms of getting, I can't say equal pay, but more fair pay and just more fair resources. Serena had to make it a global fight so people would listen because they didn't want to hear the challenges she was facing as an African American woman. And I forgot who exactly said that. I don't know if it was Sloan, Osaka. I don't know who exactly said that. It was many years ago, but I think it was the best comment I ever heard. So they didn't want to hear about Serena's fight as an African American woman. She had to make it about all women for people to just even stand up and listen. I just felt that was an amazing approach that Serena took because it did work. But we do have to take a look at the players that constantly get robbed, and it's Coco. It's a shame and it's unacceptable. But take a look at Serena. She had to fight and fight and fight. And just being the greatest at one point, right? She was considered the greatest tennis player of all time. Novak is making a good case for that right now. But let's say the GOAT, the greatest woman athlete of all time, right? She was voted number 2 most best athlete in this century, behind Michael Phelps, which, I mean, Michael Phelps is amazing, but I just think what Serena did on the court, I mean, is just, that's what, literally 100 championships. Do you know how 100 championships, guys? Insane. 23 Grand Slams. Unbelievable what Serena did on the tennis court. And she dominated so effortlessly. And look at all the times where she didn't play matches. She withdrew from championships. She would have had a lot more. And I felt she would have won a Grand Slam she would have hit 24 Grand Slams a long time ago if she didn't have her daughter, which amazing, right? They say a baby's the best blessing you can have. But nonetheless, Serena had to fight. And we're looking at Coco now in today's age and generation having to fight and fight and fight. And I think her dad said it best. You can change the world with your racket. Off the court, Coco's a huge philanthropist. She fights and fights for rights of all people and all races. And here's the message that I want to get through to people, because being a big Coco supporter, a big Coco channel, I receive a lot of hate and discrimination as well. I receive a lot of ridiculous comments. I don't post them. I don't let them get through. And the reality here is I'll never let them get through. But I receive a lot of hate defending and supporting Coco, and it is sad. And I also receive hate from the back end from YouTube, a lot of discrimination from them. And the reality here is we want anyone that supports Coco has to understand Coco was so recognized all over the world. She's loved by all people from all walks of life. It's just the small few, the small ignorant few that literally ruin it for everyone. And I just think that the world understands this, right? We understand that 99% of all people love everyone. We're here to make the world better. It's that 1% that really make the world just disgusting. And a lot of it's because they have the resources and the authority to do so. And this chair umpire sitting in this seat had the authority to make the right call, the proper call, and he did not. And this is what puts a black eye on the sport. This is what puts a black eye on the sport. This chair umpire, all the training he received, he has more than enough resources to make the proper call here. He's watching the match unfold as it happens. Just by the line judge being there calling this ball out, you should have replayed the point at minimum. In the Olympics, with a gold medal at stake, 2 undefeated players coming into the match. Coco here after taking out in the first round a very tough Isla Tomljanovic, then taking out Maria Carli, while Donovac is taking out Bronzetti and then taking out the very tough, the always game, right? And the listen, guys. Here's what I think about Dana Vekic. The way she beat Bianca Andreescu, the always tough, amazing Bianca Andreescu, lets you know that she's in her best form and she's here to win a medal. But with so much at stake here, with both of these players playing so well, a gold medal, there's a good chance one of these 2 players are going to medal. For this chair umpire to not replay the point at minimum is disgusting. And then we go back and take a look at how many times this has happened to Coco throughout the course of this year. Pierre from France literally robbed Coco 5 times in that match before she stood up to defend herself. It's happening to Coco all too often. And it's disgusting. And then I look at all the hate mail I get from Coco. It's like it's a small few. And the hate, it's never going to outweigh the love. But the problem is it gets magnified. People put a magnifying glass on it. And that's what people focus on. And they remember those conversations. They forget all the amazing accomplishments that Coco has done. There's no other player on tour that has had a better teenage career on the main tour than Coco right now. Not even Iga. I broke down the numbers in the past, right? Over 7,000 videos. I broke down the numbers in the past. As amazing as Iga is, no one's had a better teenage career on tour. Right? We all know Coco has the most wins at master events as a teenager. She set that record. Right? No other teenager on this current tour has made it to 2 Grand Slam finals, winning one of them. Right? No other teenager on tour has made it to at least 2 WTA finals on the single side and 2 WTA finals on the double side. No other teenager on this tour has won at least 6 championships as a teenager. No one has done that. Coco has. But the amount of discrimination, the wrong calls that she gets, no other player in the top 10 is experiencing this but Coco. And I think it's sad. It needs to stop. Something needs to be done. Do I have the answer? I'm not going to sit here and act like I have all the answers, right? I can give you 80% win rate on predictions. By the way, my last 11 predictions before the Olympics, all perfect. And by the way, I got to go through the Olympic predictions as well. I think I'm at least about 80% as well. But nonetheless, guys, I don't have the answer when it comes to this. What I would say is we just have to make sure we're putting better people in these power positions. We're putting better. I think aside from knowing the sport, there's got to be some type of character test, some type of integrity test, which I'm sure there is. But the reality here is when a situation like this happens, and Coco said it, she's getting the apologies after the match, but what good does that do when she's not getting justice during the match? I just think the officials, I think they need to be fined. I think they need to be suspended. Maybe more reinforcement on the behavior needs to be done and taken to prevent this from happening. But we see after the match, none of this is taking place. So what's going on at the top of the food chain is the real interesting question. Coco continues to be robbed, guys. Comment below. Let's continue the conversation. My personal thoughts in conclusion, I think Coco's the most famous. She's the most recognized player in the sport. This needs to stop. She can't continue to be robbed because you're losing fans. And you guys have seen over the last few months, my interest, it's kind of declined, which you've kind of saw by the reduction in videos. I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm starting to get disgusted with the sport a bit. And of course, I love tennis. It's my number one passion. It's my favorite sport. But just seeing how often Coco's been robbed this year, so many big matches this year, it has affected me. And I'll be honest, it has, because I haven't been covering tennis as much because it's disgusting. It has affected me. It really has. Just seeing Coco robbed all these times, it has got to me. It really has. And my biggest video on my old channel was Coco getting robbed. What about all the amazing videos I've done on her skills, her talent, and even players like Iga, all the amazing videos on Iga that I've done, but people focus on the negative things, and the negative shouldn't outweigh the positive. But once again, Coco Gauff robbed. In conclusion, I think something needs to be done. These chair umpires need to be fined, suspended, and we have to send the message. We have to send a message. At minimum, you think Donna Vekic would have been upset if if the point was replayed? Of course she wouldn't, because she had the ball out, right? We have to do better. We have to do better. Everyone involved with covering tennis, we all have to do better. And these chair umpires cannot get away with stuff like this. What do you guys think should happen when a chair umpire makes a bad call like this? What do you think should happen? Because Coco has fans all over the world, all ages, all demographics, supporting her, rooting for her. When they see this happen, they're going to lose interest in tennis. They're not going to want to play tennis when they see this happening. Comment below, guys. Tennis in a minute. Thanks for all the love and support. Coco Gauff robbed again. She says she's tired of advocating for herself. She's tired of fighting for herself. She's the only one having to do it. Serena was robbed, and she's sick of it. She says tennis is not fair for her. Maybe one day it will be. What do you think? We'll be back.